Okay, we've got San Francisco head coach Todd Golden, and we've got student athletes Jamari Bouye and Khalil Shabazz. We'll open it up with opening comment from head coach. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, I'm just incredibly proud of my guys. You know, this was a big game for a multitude of reasons. And, you know, if you had been listening to the media all week, they were trying to build this up like an elimination game. I didn't feel that that was the case with our body of work and what we've done over the first 31 games that we've had. But we left no doubt tonight. We left no doubt tonight to win 75-63. We controlled the game after the first 4 minutes. These two guys sitting next to me, I think, are the two best guards in the league and have continued night in and night out to give us a great chance to win no matter who we're playing. We had great efforts from guys like Vova Markovetsky, playing 16 minutes off the bench. He was plus 12. I thought he did a great job defensively. Josh Coonan finally banged a couple free throws for us late. That really kind of loosened it up. You know, and Pat and Yayan gave us some really solid, good minutes inside. But, you know, I can't say enough about Jamari and Khalil. These guys have played together now for almost 4 years, 3 years total playing. Khalil redshirted his first year with us. And it's just a blessing to be able to coach these guys. And I'm really proud of my group, and I'm excited that this team's going to be dancing.
Okay, we'll open up questions for the student athletes. We will bring you the microphone.
Steve.
Jamari, you've been playing for 5 seasons now. I'm going to guess in almost any game in the previous time that you've been at USF, if you've got open court in the game in hand, you're not going for a dunk. But tonight was different, correct?
Absolutely. I think it was kind of personal. You know, when we played at BYU, they kind of said some things, and the game didn't. It was a little chippy, and the game was just kind of physical and went kind of sideways in a little bit. But I think that was kind of personal, and I just went for the dunk and played to the end of the buzzer.
Nobody got on you, right?
No.
I might have told him to go dunk it as well.
Okay, in the interest of time, we are going to limit to one question in the first round. So next question from the room.
Jamari, you played 40 minutes tonight. Coming into the game, was that the expectation that you might have to go deep into the rotation, deep into time?
I think most games I'm either in there for 38 to 40 minutes, and I'm just a workhorse. And I think Coach Golden understands that, and I don't want to see this team lose, so I'm just going to stay on the court as long as possible. And he believes in me enough to be out there without getting tired, so it's just respect from him.
Yeah, and to comment on that, you know, Jamari and I have now been together 5 years. It's an insane level of trust between both of us. And in all seriousness, it might sound funny, but I let him tell me if he wants to come out of the game. He plays 40 most nights, you know, and I think he played 118 out of 120 minutes last week in our 3-game week where we won 2 huge games to put ourselves in this position. And, you know, it's between him and Khalil. You know, those guys don't come out of the game much, and they've earned that right.
Okay, next question, and we'll stay with the student athletes for now, and we'll come back to Coach Golden later with the questions.
Khalil, they cut it to 8 after that weird flagrant foul situation, and you hit a huge corner 3 after that. Did you kind of feel that moment, the momentum turning there? Were you kind of looking for your shot, or were you just kind of taking what the defense gave you on that one?
Nah, for the most part, I kind of just take what the defense gives me. Coach Golden puts a lot of trust in us to take the right shots, especially when it comes to me and JB. So I feel like if I'm open or Jamari's open, mainly if anybody's open on our team, just shoot the ball and it went in. So, yeah.
Okay, any other first-round questions in the room? Steve, did you have a second? Yeah, go ahead. Steve Croner here.
Big Steve. Relax, Steve.
Actually, on this side. If you had one, go ahead and we'll follow with Steve.
Yeah, Coach, I guess this is for Jamari or Khalil.
You got it.
Do you guys consider BYU to be an NCAA tournament team?
Be careful what you say.
I'm not answering.
Honestly, at the end of the day, we're worried about us, worried about the Dons. We don't really care about anybody else, especially if it's an opponent that we have to play. Yeah, doesn't really matter. Just got to go out there, play our game, get the dub, play as a team, and do what we've been doing all year. So I don't really care if a team's an NCAA team or not.
You guys, talking into what Todd said at the outset, he said, you know, number of people in the media were making this out to be an elimination game or not. whether that was true or not, in some respects, somebody believed that your entire season depended on this game. Did you guys have that attitude coming on this game that the season depended on it?
You got a big dog.
I don't think we've seen it as an elimination game. I think we've seen it as another opponent in our way. I think to get to the tournament, you got to win games. So this is another game we had to win. And I also think this game is a little personal for us. You know, like I said, we went into BYU and it got sideways and chippy and things were said. And coming into Vegas, it was just like we knew who our opponent was and we just wanted to get this win.
Can you please repeat the question one time?
Did you think that this game, that your season depended on this game?
Nah. I mean, kind of what Jamari said, it's just another game. We got to win as many games as possible. Obviously, some games mean more than others, but for the most part, we're just going out and treat everybody the same, every opponent the same. They're in our way of reaching our goals, so just go out there and just take care of business.
Okay, anybody else in the room with a final question for the student athletes? Okay, if not, we'll start with Jeff Ferrato via Zoom. Questions for the student athlete only at this time, and please limit to one the first time around.
Jamari, can you talk about the defensive play that you got from Khalil tonight, who spent much of his evening chasing around BYU's best player?
It's what he does. I call him. I kind of joke with him a bit and call him like the little Pat Bev of our team. So it's definitely what he does, and he doesn't get tired doing it. He got in foul trouble a little bit towards the end, so I just switched for him. But I deal with him in practice every day as well. So I think Barcelo had a lot on his hands tonight.
Okay, we'll go to anyone else on Zoom. I'll go ahead and read through quick names. The Zone, any questions? Terry South, Greg Rebel, Jim Meehan, Darnell Dixon, any questions?
Yeah, I have one for the two players. What has to change for USF to be successful against Gonzaga?
I just think they play at a fast pace. So I think limiting them in transition, and I kind of watched the same. We watched the same Mavericks game. We've seen some things we can probably adjust on from that game, and I think just playing our game, hopefully coming out and making shots, but just like I said, staying on our game and limiting them in transition for sure.
Okay, via Zoom, any other questions? Jeff, did you have anything else?
Yeah. Can both players address what Coach said, which is that he thinks you're definitely in?
Big dog.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you look at our body of work and everything we've done all year, you know, the big wins that we have, the quad one wins or whatever the case may be. And when it comes to the net rankings or all the other rankings, we've been top 30 or whatever for most of the year.
Look at you, bro. I love it. You're all
locked
over
in,
it.
locked in. But, yeah, you look at all those rankings and we're up there, you know? So, I mean, I don't see why not. And you guys watched us play tonight. So, I mean, you guys can tell us if we're a March Madness team or not.
I just think just basically winning games. I think we won a lot of games. I think out of our losses, I think they're total of like 15 or 13 points or something like that. I'm not too sure. But I just think we won a lot of games. We beat quality opponents. We beat BYU twice, which is a bubble-ish team. I think we have a lot of wins on our belt, so that speaks for itself.
Okay, players, thank you. You guys are free to go.
Thank you.
boys.
Good luck, Coach.
Hey, can we take this water
There's one more question. Go ahead.
to the crib?
Go ahead. Ask your question. I guess we'll go ahead and move to Todd Golden.
Thank you.
Questions in the room for
Good job,
Todd.
boys.
Get the mic to you.
Todd, you said that you might have told Jamari to go ahead and dunk it anyway or whatever. Is there bad blood between these two programs?
No, not
why,
bad
Why
blood.
would you say that?
No, just an exclamation point to a great game. You know, he had a run-out, fast break. They were still competing, and I have a lot of respect for Coach Pope and his program. I think he's a great coach. I love it. The guys on his staff, whether it be Nick, Chris, or Cody, I think they do a really good job. It's no bad blood. It's two really good programs competing at an insanely high level and that are going to play all 40 minutes of the game. I think I would expect them to do something similar. And so not bad blood, just to give one of my guys an opportunity to go put an exclamation mark on a huge win for our program, one that's probably one of the biggest wins in the last 35 years because I think it secures our tournament bid.
So after one possible down note tonight was Yalan Masowski coming off the floor twice. How's his knee? Do you think he'll play Monday?
Yeah, I think he banged knees. I think he's going to be day-to-day. We'll talk to the trainers tonight and see how he's feeling. The good thing is, if we need to rest him on Monday to get ready for the tournament, we'll rest him on Monday. We clinched tonight. It's the bottom line. Andy Katz just tweeted about it. Anybody asked, we had a 98.7% chance, according to Bart Torvik, of making the tournament before the game tonight. Add another quad 1, well, probably quad 2 now because we beat them by 12. Win, so we're 9-7 in those games. We're going to be a top 25 net team, top 20 KenPom, top 35 in all the other metrics. I mean, this isn't a discussion about whether we're in the tournament. It's a discussion of whether we're wearing home jerseys or not in the first round.
Love to hear you citing Bart Torvik. All over it. I wanted to ask about Jamari. I thought about asking him, but I kind of want to get your take on it.
Yep.
It felt like early on, he's usually kind of patient
Sure.
to get into the game.
Yep.
He was a little more assertive with taking shots in that first half. Was it kind of, I kind of asked this to Khalil too, but did he just sense the moment that it was kind of time to get some buckets?
No, you know what? Coach Chris Gerlofson and I meet with Jamari every game day for about 15, 20 minutes where we just talk about the game plan, kind of get an understanding of what he sees watching the scout film. We try to give him a couple tidbits to make him feel comfortable, and we just challenged him today, knowing how big of a game it was, to go out and be super aggressive early because we thought that would set the tone for the rest of the guys. But you obviously have watched this a lot because he does. He takes his time. He feels the game out a little bit. He's a super unselfish player. He's always trying to get other guys involved first. But tonight I was like, I want you to be like John Morant. I want you to go be aggressive in transition, try to get downhill, put pressure on him at the rim. It'll open up shots for other guys. And so, I'm happy to look at the stat sheet and see that he took 16 shots, But he was phenomenal tonight. And 40 minutes, just having a player like him on the floor is just so comforting as his coach.
Okay, anybody else in the room with a question for Coach? Okay, if you're on Zoom, if you could please raise your hand on Zoom, and I will call upon you for a question for Coach. We'll go ahead and get started with Jeff Ferrato. Go ahead, Jeff.
Could you talk a little bit about Markovetsky?
Yeah.
He obviously made an impact on the game tonight, but just what he's been going through with his family in Ukraine?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a pretty difficult situation that he's trying to navigate through right now. Fortunately, his mom and sister were able to get to Lithuania, so they're pretty safe. But his father's in law enforcement. His father's on the ground there in Ukraine, protecting his homeland, and has so much pride in being a Ukrainian that he's not going to leave. He's not leaving until this war is over. And Vova's been playing with a lot on his shoulders here the past week and a half, and as this all kind of started. And I, being an adult, it's still very hard for me to try to put myself in his position, knowing that it's very uncertain what's going on back home. He was phenomenal tonight, Jeff. He impacted the game in so many ways. He only scored 3 points, but he was ridiculous defensively, clogged everything up, was good on the defensive glass, had a huge dunk late that I thought really kind of put a exclamation mark on it. And, in the locker room was a really special moment because his teammates all rallied around him, gave him a big hug, and he was in tears. It was, it's a pretty crazy situation, but I'm super proud of him for the way that he's continued to push through. And obviously, if he didn't want to play right now, we wouldn't expect him to play. But this is a little bit of an outlet for him. A couple hours a day where he's thinking about something else than what's going on at home. And I'm really glad for him that he had this moment where he was so impactful in such a big game with everything that's going on.
Thanks, Todd.
You're welcome.
Okay, does anybody else on Zoom or in the room have a final question for Coach? Okay, thank you, Coach.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.